Merry Christmas, everyone. The staircase to me is the featured part of a house on Christmas. I don't know if you have multiple stories in your house. We did as a kid, our home. And I remember our bedrooms, of course, were on the second floor and running down the stairwell on Christmas morning to find the avalanche of gifts underneath the tree. And I remember my parents warning my brother and two sisters and I sternly not to sneak down the back staircase in the middle of the night to try to catch Santa or get a preview of the gifts. Santa might not come if he suspected we would try to catch him. And then going down the stairwell that early Christmas morning with such joy. The stairwell indeed leads to splendor. And if you're an adult, maybe it leads to seeing your children or that cup of coffee or whatever it is, the newspaper in the morning. We hear in Luke, in those days, a decree went out from Caesar Augustus that the whole world should be enrolled. The palace of the Roman emperors was on a hill, the Palatine Hill, which was the centermost of the 7 hills in Rome. And so you can imagine the page taking the scroll with the decree from Augustus's desk and running down that broad staircase of the palace down to the city of Rome below and then out to the world. Remember, Christ, of course, ascended and descended the staircase of Pilate's Praetorium. There weren't 2 stories in the cave of Bethlehem, and most houses in the poor village of Nazareth had only 1 level. So the Holy Family never probably had the experience of running up and down a staircase or sliding down with a sled. But I'm sure throughout his career, Joseph, the father of Jesus, built a stairwell or 2, perhaps for some wealthy person's home in Jerusalem or maybe even in Bethlehem or in Egypt during their sojourn. Remember, Joseph had to work to provide for his family during this time. And actually, interestingly, there is historical record of for sure Joseph building one staircase, and that actually was in New Mexico in 1878. There's a famous story of a mysterious man one day showing up at the convent door of the Sisters of Loretto and volunteered his services to build a staircase to the choir loft of their newly built chapel. It didn't have one. And after 3 months, the man disappeared, and there was a beautiful spiral staircase with no nails and wood that actually was native to Israel. The sisters believed, indeed, this was an apparition of St. Joseph who showed up to build this staircase. Well, this wasn't just the only staircase in New Mexico in the modern era that Joseph built or builds. Joseph crafts the most important stairwell of all, and that's the stairwell of our souls. The staircase down to the depths of our hearts. At the bottom of this staircase is the greatest gift of all, Jesus Christ. Christ is present in the stairwell of our souls. We know this because of Christmas morning. Joseph can help us reach our Lord down in our souls and give us, again, the deepest meaning and the deepest peace and joy of all. It's known that Joseph died when Jesus was a young man. He died before Jesus began his public ministry at age 30. We're not exactly sure how Joseph died. It probably wasn't because of old age. Joseph was most likely actually a young man. So was it cancer or some accident or something else? How did Joseph die? Well, there are a number of saints and theologians who say it wasn't any of these causes, illness or accident or whatever, but they say that Joseph died of love. Joseph died of love. He was so in love with Jesus and Mary. He so poured his heart out to God. And in that outpouring of his heart, so desired more to be filled with God's love that his heart just finally gave out. His earthly heart could no longer bear the love. He needed to die and be transfused with a heavenly heart. So he died a happy death, a death of love. And this is why Joseph is the patron saint of a happy death. He died peacefully with a smile on his face in the arms of Jesus and Mary, just like he once held the baby Jesus in his own arms. When someone is in love, so in love, there's almost a pain, a lover's pain. Think of the pain of that excitement, kids, as you run down the staircase just before you're about to open your gifts. Or a husband and wife, newlyweds. The pain of your love, that hole in your heart. It's a beautiful pain. It can only be filled with love. Isaiah the prophet says, as a young man marries a virgin, your builder shall marry you. Yes, Joseph is the great builder. He had that pain because he crafted the stairwell into his soul to be with his son, and he walked up and down it every day of his life. And so too may Joseph build the stairwell to our souls. May Joseph be with us this night and throughout this year. Allow us to walk up and down the staircase of our hearts to the greatest gift of all, Jesus Christ born this day. Merry Christmas.